Capricorn. How are you doing, Capricorn? Welcome. My name is G. You're watching Allastrology. Yes, November. We have an eclipse coming. I know, another one. Yes, that's normal. 2 weeks apart. That's how they occur. Sometimes there's even 3, but this is not that time. Right. It's a full moon lunar eclipse. It's called a blood moon eclipse, right? Capricorn, where does this happen in your life? Why does it matter? What area of your life does it happen in? Who will it involve? These and more we will talk about and we will discover together, because I'm going to go over the astrology without talking about the astrology for you. I'm going to talk about it hopefully in a relatable way for you. And if I don't, let me know. If I do, please let me know. Let me know what you liked or didn't like. And then you're going to get a card. Right. I've been shuffling cards up. You'll get a card as a clarifier for your eclipse. Yeah. And then I'm also going to talk about your new moon. It's a new beginning when we have a new moon. And so towards the end of November, you have a new moon. Yeah. And so we're going to talk about what area of your life, where is this new beginning happening? The eclipse for you. This is an eclipse in Taurus energy. So this is your values, possibly your money, possibly your love. Yeah. Who and what I love. Taurus is earth energy. It's fixed. It has very clear ideas about what it values. Your values are kind of like in this really awesome location. It's your happy place. It's your 5th house, your happy place. So for Taurus, we got to think of all the Venus keywords, right? So yeah, this eclipse is in Taurus at 16 degrees, which makes it Venus as the ruler of the eclipse. It's a full moon eclipse. So let me go backwards a little bit and talk about Taurus a little bit more, because this eclipse is about a release. Yeah, it's a full moon lunar eclipse. And it is conjunct the North Node. Okay. So I'll tell you what that means first when we figure out the keywords and the words of, well, what are we releasing? Your values. But it's your values around fun, joy, romance, creativity, how I take a risk with my body. It's your values about those 5 things. Your happy place. What do you do for a good time? What do you do for exercise? What do you do to physically challenge yourself or to have fun with your body, which is why romance is in here, right? You know, Venus energy in Taurus, it's that shopper. It's that I like good food. So going out and shopping and then dining afterwards, maybe some entertainment. Oh yeah, this works out. This is all of that in this location. Now, you can also be a lover of the earth and find things like recycling and doing stuff like that. You enjoy it. You know, you value the earth, obviously, but you also find joy in it. It's like you're doing something for the earth. Absolutely. So are you a person who may consider yourself minimalistic in some way, right? Where there's less waste, right? Reuse or upcycle, recycle, repurpose, up-purpose. I find joy in doing that. I find joy in doing things that help the earth, because Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So what are you releasing? Could it be a romantic partner? Could it be your ideas around a romantic partner because you're reprioritizing, like someone that you considered, like, you know how we have those little boxes that we check? Yeah, they got to have this, they got to have that. They can't be like that, right? We have these little marks, these little checklists that we have where we're like, yeah, like that's a keeper, or no, hell no, right? So that's your priorities, your values, right? And so for some of us, the values of our self-love, like our self-care, some of the ways that we love and the things that we accept or want in a partner, they're based on our self-values, our self-worth. All right. And so when we change that, when we maybe not even change, but discover more things about ourselves that we value, that changes the energy of who is drawn into our life, right? And so what you value, who you value, money. Taurus is money, finances, and banking, right? Having fun with those things. Do you mess around with digital assets? Do you mess around because like gambling online or just something that you might find entertaining? Like some folks may find gambling entertaining. Like me, I can't stand it. I don't like it at all. I've never gotten into it. Like going to the riverboats and all that. I don't drink. I don't like that. So I don't like, yeah, anyway, there's a lot of things that are associated with it that I really dislike, But then again, I might come at a point in my life where I'm like, oh, all of a sudden I find that fun, right? So it's changing priorities, changing values and things that you found fun, or priorities and values related to children and creating in general. So if you're not somebody who has a child, for myself, being creative, putting out a video and creating a really cool thumbnail for it, or doing different art in my own way, those are my creations. Those are my children. Yeah, it could be that. Or even looking at art, fine art. Oh yeah, that's a big one here. That would be a big one. Going to a museum, right? Places that hold fine art. Going to an art gallery. Just there's traditional values associated with Taurus energy, right? Material and tangible. Now, let's talk about the eclipse, okay? Because it's a release and it's a full moon, I have to mention that there might be something that happens, and it might be an elevation not only of emotions, but it might be triggered by somebody in your life that you look up to, someone who seems to be an authority figure in some way. Okay. So I don't know if you have maybe you have a banker, right? Maybe you have somebody like at the bank, literally, that you go to and you go through the drive through or whatever, that gives you some information that you're just like, oh God, I'm quitting that bank, right? Quitting some sort of a value, releasing it because it's this lunar eclipse, this full moon. It represents a cycle of completion. Yeah, I know. I got a notice from the bank about a month ago saying that I have to have an X amount of dollars because it was like one of those freedom accounts. So there was there was like a zero balance, right? You didn't have to have like a $100 or $200 or $500 balance like some accounts have. And this is their new notice. Oh, your freedom account is changing its name. And by the way, you have to have X amount of dollars in the balance of your account or you get charged, right? And I was just like, oh, so in a way, I kind of think of that where I'm quitting that. But that's a little bit serious, isn't it? And this is the house of unserious. This is a house of fun and joy and being creative. Absolutely. So you're just finishing a cycle in something that you were doing because you've changed a value. Now, because it's near the North Node, this has to do with your future. So this release, it's vital. It's important. So don't think of it as a loss, right? It's a release, but it's making room for what's coming in. It's incoming. And that incoming has to do with your joy, your fun, your creativity, and possibly a romantic partner. Yeah. So let's do a card for this now. I'm hearing to shuffle, which I'm going to do. And then they're telling me to take this card that's right on top, to don't do anything else. I'm like, okay, simple, Taurus, keep it simple, right? Are you ready? Wow. This is a warrior spirit. This is supportive. This is Mars. This is my body. This is I'm taking action. This is you're a fighter, right? You are a fighter. And because it's in your fifth house, this person's standing alone. And you see the person laying on the ground, right? This warrior card is like, I'm fierce. I can, if there's a battle, I'm willing to fight for my happiness. I'm willing to fight for my creations. Oh my gosh. Somebody I know, this just popped in my head. But again, this is November. If I didn't give you the date, I'll have all the degrees and dates below. This is like November 8th. So if you have anything near those degrees, when we have something exact, we sense it much sooner, up to 6 months sooner. Right. So being willing to fight for my creations, being willing to go it alone even, right? This is Mars. Mars is very independent spirit. It wants freedom of its actions, of its body. It wants to go when it wants to go and where it wants to go, and it's willing to fight for it. Very fiery, very optimistic energy, has kind of a childlike energy to it, meaning I'm not afraid to try something new, right? Aries energy and Mars, kind of a pioneer spirit, if you will, but leading the pack. Mars is willing to be the leader. But we can't forget, Mars is not the general. It has a tendency to be impulsive, right? So it may have impulsive actions or words, meaning it doesn't think before it speaks or before it acts. It's actually better at taking orders, but then working alone once it has its orders. And again, this is just for a clarifier for your fifth house, for the release and what it is that's ending for you, something tied to your values, but you're willing to fight for it. Yeah, interesting. It almost is like a tug of war then, isn't it? It's kind of complicated. But because you're willing to fight for your creations, you may then choose to release some other form of creating that you were previously doing. All right. So now let's talk about your new beginning, Capricorn. You have a new beginning, and this new beginning is in Sagittarius energy. So it involves your beliefs. Yeah. Your belief about something could be exaggerations, could be judgments, right? It likes to add to things. They're great storytellers. I mean, really good storytellers. I have a friend who I actually haven't spoken to in a bit of time. That person used to make me laugh. I mean, really, right? And I think they liked being entertaining, right? They liked their moment in the spotlight and to be entertaining. And that's Sagittarius. Even though they'll say they like to go it alone because they, of course, want freedom. So they do have that capability. But they also have the capability to be the entertainer at times, to be loud and to be, because they know how to express, they know how to radiate and teach, right? They feel like they have this wisdom and this knowledge. And so they have the ability to do that, to be animated and to maybe humorous, right? Because it's Sagittarius energy we're talking about, and it's optimistic. And so it may use its optimism with a little bit of sarcasm thrown in there, right? So this is happening, Capricorn, for you. 12th house. So this tells us right off the top, it could be exaggerations, it could be self-conscious judgments or judgments of others, but they are subconscious. I said self-conscious. They're subconscious. So you're not aware of them. Right. Now, this is also philosophy on life. This is religion and spirituality. So this could be stuff from other lifetimes. It could be like soul history and soul memory involved here. And carrying some religious or spiritual things with you. In religion, there is judgment usually. Yeah. Long journeys, higher learning, extended education. What do you think about extended education? Did you have to go far to get for your extended education? Because that 12th house energy, the place of the subconscious, which is what I'm talking about, is like on the other side of the world type of energy. So this is foreigners, foreign lands, foreign languages. This is the judicial system or lack of it, right? This is judgment, whether it's from religion or literally in a courtroom type of judgment, but beliefs, freedom, spirituality, and truth. Let freedom ring, right? Getting to truth. So you have some hidden wisdom, is what this is telling me. I just heard very clearly you have hidden wisdom. So I'm writing wisdom down because that is a keyword. But yeah, again, I didn't have it. So I need to add that to the list. So you have history of being like a guru, a spiritual teacher. Yeah. So have you found that you're drawn to religions and maybe not just tied to one, but you're open to different belief systems? Yeah. Like you have flexibility. You don't necessarily judge them for their religious beliefs or lack of, even though I just said you may have, because there's still judgments here. There's still judgments, but because they're there because you're not aware of them. And as soon as you become aware of them, they fall to the side. It's like, I understand that even though someone believes this or does that or whatever, at the end of the day, I see the big picture. I see how that person being that way, how at times I can also be that way. Right. In varying degrees. And so you see the connectivity. You see the connectivity. All things are one. Right. A really nice placement, actually. But probably kind of difficult if you've been searching for truth and freedom and higher learning and education. It was like, oh my God, I had to go all the way over there for that. Right. Yeah. And sometimes we don't literally physically have to go somewhere, but we do have to take a journey. We have to experience a journey in order to reach, to get the seeking that we're seeking, to reach the journey, the destination of the journey. I got a cat pawing at my elbows. Hi, you want to come on up? So this is a new beginning. It's a new moon and a new beginning pertaining to your beliefs and your philosophy on life, possibly religion, possibly spirituality, possibly unconscious judgments coming to the consciousness. Pay attention to your dreams. There's something here about dreams and possibly getting wisdom messages through your dreams. Remember, these messages, they're not just from other lifetimes for you, but this is also connecting to the divine. Okay. The connection is there for you all the time, actually. So if you haven't developed that, maybe you're going to start developing that. And it doesn't mean you have to go and join a religion, not at all, but there just might be something spiritual that, you just, might be experimenting a little bit more with. Okay. Or it could just be traveling. Maybe before you weren't traveling and now you're going to start traveling, right? Because it was hidden from you. Maybe the new moon is like, oh, whoa, the traveling you thought you couldn't do, you're going to do more of, possibly, right? And it would be long distance, actually, because it's in that hidden 12th house. Let's pull you a card. Again, I just shuffled. They're saying to just pull the card on top. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Pulling the card for you, Cappy. This is your new beginning, November 23rd, the new moon in Sagittarius beliefs. This religious card came up. Holy crap. This is crazy. You got a Sagittarius card with a Sagittarius new moon in your 12th house. Wow. So is there something here, when we talk about religions, they're founded in a belief system, right? And structure. And usually the structure is rigid. Usually the structure is, there's like, I don't want to say routines, but the routines that involve, like, I don't want to use the word props either. Forgive me, because my words have been changing in my brain. That's all I can say. So I don't have all those words I would normally use at my disposal right now. So this is weird for me, but, like, see how there's a menorah there? I think those are menorahs on either side. Yeah. So does this show, is this like a rabbi or something? I don't have a lot of knowledge with the Jewish faith, so forgive me, but, very wise. See Jupiter down there, Sagittarius's ruler, very wise. There's something here. It's so wild that this came up for your 12th house. This card, I said Christianity, I said Jewish, but Jewish isn't of the Christian faith, right? They're the Old Testament, right? So it's like this card is showing me all faiths, actually. Because to me, I grew up, born and raised, right? Catholic. And there was a lot of structure in that. There was, just a whole lot of the routines and the sacred, just, we did different things, right? And so there was like the chalice and the host and the body of Christ and the blood of Christ. And so what are the, I don't want to say accessories. I can't think of the word. If you know what I'm talking about, please put it in the comments. I'm having a weird moment when it's coming to just the tangible, practical things. But this card is showing me multi-religions, right? It's showing me multi-belief systems. And so I keep hearing there's something there for this new beginning. Either you're going to adapt a new belief system, and it's like it's encompassing everybody, I'm hearing, right? So you might not really do it because it's really about you. It's really maybe more of a belonging, right? Belonging to a belief, but the open and the oneness of adapting, right? Because it's like you're on a journey. It's an extension of your spiritual journey. And so it's okay. You don't feel locked in. You feel there's freedom in it. You feel the freedom to explore and to experience and learning and possibly teaching, possibly preaching. Look at that. Possibly preaching in here. Interesting. Maybe you're getting a spiritual teacher. Maybe you're going to become the spiritual teacher, right? But it's definitely a new journey. So Capricorn, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your supportive, beautiful comments. And just thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.